And then I'll make an announcement just so everybody else knows on the call. The recording has begun. Hey, Abigail, have you seen Bob? Like, is he in the office? Oh,
I am not in the office.
Okay.
I have not heard from him today, but
Okay.
he's on a call right now. So
okay, I've sent him a couple emails, and I just want to make sure for the mega meeting, if he's going to be attending or not. So I just wanted to make sure, like, he's not on vacation or whatnot. So okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good.
Lori and Abigail, all the nice ladies are on here this morning.
Hi, Mike.
Hello. Good
And
morning.
Swara too.
Hello. How are you all?
Good. How you doing, Swara?
Good.
Good, good. Thank you.
All right, Mike, it is 9:32. And I do not see Bob on the line.
Yeah, and I haven't heard from Bob either, so.
So, are you going to look to me to do this? Which is fine.
Well, you're the vice chair.
Well, I'm happy to help. And if Bob jumps on, I'm also happy to hand the gavel back to him.
Okay. Okay. Very good, Gina. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's do some quick introductions, just so we know who's out there in virtual land. I'm Gina Torres. I'm one of the assistant directors at the Hillsborough Transportation Planning Organization. And I'm going to go who's on my list. So I'm going to call on Susan.
Yes, good morning. Hey, Susan Boda. I am with Benish and happy to be with and see you all today. Thank you.
Susan. Dan Rodriguez.
Hi, Dan Rodriguez with Heart. Glad to be here.
Glad you're here too. Don Skelton Jr.
Hey, I'm Don Skelton. I'm from Way Engineering.
We have Emily Hinsdale.
Hi, this is Emily Hinsdale with Sidewalk Stompers.
Hey, glad you're here. Swara.
Hi, I'm Swara Farheen. I'm from Atkins Global here in Tampa. Thank you.
Hey, Swara. Abigail.
Good morning, all. Abigail Flores. I'm with Hillsborough County, a program manager. Thanks.
Morning. Eric Henry.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Eric Henry with the Florida Department of Transportation, District 7 Safety Office.
Great. Charles Kane.
Good morning, I'm Charles Kane. I'm the District 7 Law Enforcement Liaison, Florida Law Enforcement Liaison Program, funded by FDOT.
Great, glad you're here. Karen, it looks like Buckenheim.
Good morning. This is Karen Buckenheimer, the Executive Director of More Health. Welcome, everybody.
Awesome. Welcome to you too. Dawn.
Good morning, Dawn Lewis, Tampa General Trauma Center.
Great. Hey, Dawn, I haven't seen you in a while. Well, I guess I'm not seeing you now either. Brian McCarthy.
Hey, good morning, Brian McCarthy. I'm with the City of Temple Terrace.
Melissa Kitchelow.
Good morning, Melissa Kinchlow, Crossing Guard Unit for Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.
Nice to have you. Michael White.
Michael White, I'm the supervisor over the DUI unit for the Tampa Police Department.
CPD, okay, cool. Lori Palo.
Lori Paleo with JMT.
Lori. Melissa Shepherd, Melissa.
Hello, hey everybody, I'm Melissa Shepherd with JMT. And just a quick note, this meeting is being recorded, so if you're not speaking, please mute your mics.
Michael Taylor.
I am Michael Taylor with the Hillsborough County Emergency Medical Planning Council and Trauma Agency.
Glad you're here. Kristen Taylor.
Good morning, Kristen Taylor. I'm with AIRS Associates.
And of course, last but not least, Michael Zinn.
And Michael Zinn, Florida Department of Transportation, District 7, your CTST program manager, and Mr. Campbell has arrived so he can introduce himself.
All right. Hey, Bob, we went through introductions besides yourself, and now I'm turning it over to you.
I'm personally thinking you're doing a great job. You can continue. This is Bob Campbell with Hillsborough County. So, Gina, you can continue.
No. You are the chair.
Okay, good morning. Have we approved the minutes yet?
No, we haven't.
Okay. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes from the last meeting?
I move to approve.
Okay, I got a motion to approve. A second.
Second, Karen.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And approved. Let's go to the agenda. Okay. Let's start off with the first item here is pedestrian, bicycle, motorcycle, and safety updates. Who would like to start?
This is Karen Buckenheimer. I'm not sure if you want me to be in this group, but More Health continues to teach pedestrian and bicycle safety in Hillsborough County schools, as well as private schools, as well over in Pinellas. And so we've been just rocking and rolling into the end of the school year, and certainly working with our law enforcement partners to promote safety, not only in the classroom, elementary school level, but also on social media. And we try to certainly, our big partner is Tampa General and Johns Hopkins, and working closely with them to promote safety throughout our county.
Okay. Is there, who's with the Motorcycle Coalition? Does anybody attend those meetings here?
Hey, Bob, it's Gina. I don't, but we've delegated it to a person who doesn't join us on these meetings. So I should have gotten an update from her. So I don't have anything to add. I haven't talked to her. Sorry.
Yeah, Michael was in, when is Motorcycle Awareness Month? Is that this month or next month? May.
Yeah, it's coming up, Bob, next month. And just for your information, the Bike Ped Coalition is starting this afternoon and running through tomorrow, and it's being hosted by our District 7 here this time.
Okay.
So the Bike Ped Coalition is meeting this week, and the Motorcycle Coalition, of course, is next month.
Okay. And the DOT has some materials they'd like the agency to use for next month for the motorcycles. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We have some yard signs. I don't know, Melissa, did you get a copy of them, or would you show what they look like? I didn't get that
Yep.
email.
Yep, give me 1 second. I'll pull them up right here.
They come in two fabulous colors, orange and green.
And isn't the Sunshine Skyway going to be bright green in color? That's what I heard on the
I
from
believe
Peter's shoot.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Yeah, isn't that cool? I found it if you want me to share my screen.
Sure,
Yes,
it's
please.
it's
Yes,
the right
please.
share. It's watch. Go ahead, Gina.
Well, it's actually an email that I'm sharing from Peter, but those are what they look like. Yeah.
So how can the agencies put these to use, or what are the recommendations?
Michael,
Like on
yeah.
county roads?
No, I think they want to put them in lobbies of buildings, other locations where people might gather, large gathering locations.
I got a few last time and I put them, I live very close to Nebraska Avenue. So I just walked out and put them actually, whether I was allowed to or not. That's where I placed mine in a few places where I thought they would be seen by the neighborhood. I think you're free to put them where you want to. I mean,
Hopefully hopefully where there's a lot of bike riders, so the people that are they see them in cars, they'll say, watch for the motorcycles.
Okay, Michael, where'd they pick these up if people want to get these from you?
They're at the district's office, and Peter's got them in his office, actually.
Okay. Okay. Abigail, would you like to give us an update on your pedestrian activities, if you would?
All right.
I don't know if this is the appropriate place to mention the grant as well, or wait to get the engineering, one or the other.
Yeah, we have as we've been talking about, our region was very successful in getting money for ped and bike projects. So the county got 20 million to do 22 projects that will improve safety and access for pedestrians, bicyclists, what was the other one? Pedestrian, bike, and transit users. as well as school students walking and biking to school. So what we got going on is we are doing a lot of project development. So we have 22 projects to complete in 5 years. And these 22 projects are in various phases. Some are in project development, like we have the pedestrian projects that are in project development are on Handy Road, Tarpon Springs, Gun Highway, and Pine Street. So we are in Van Dyke Road, yeah, Gun Highway and Van Dyke Road. So we're completing project development for that, and then those will move. Some of those which are in the grant will move to design and then construction in the future. But right now we're working on project development for some PED locations. And we have a pedestrian program, a pedestrian safety program where we retrofit corridors for pedestrian safety and access. And this year we're updating our locations. So we have all of the locations in the county where pedestrians, we have analyzed all the county roadway network for pedestrian safety and access, and we've ranked all of the corridors, right? The non-locals. And we're going to re-rank them this year with new methodology, like using the TPO's updated equity methodology and best practices. So we're going to have an even better list for safety, access, and equity at the end of this year.
Okay, thank you. Who's here from the city of Tampa? There.
I don't think anyone's on, Bob.
Hmm.
From the
Okay.
city.
City of Tampa received a like amount of money, and they're also developing corridors within the city of Tampa as well. They're in the process of developing an agreement with the Federal Highway Administration to receive the money. So that's the status from the city. So, okay. The next is Julie Bond here by any chance? Julie here?
I don't think
No,
so, Bob.
she's not.
Okay. Okay. See anyone here from Walk Bike Tampa Bay in the meeting?
I think Emily, Emily, is there any?
Yeah, you could count me. I'm with Walk Back Tampa.
Okay. Emily, would you like to give us an update on your activities, if you would, please?
Sure, I'll do both. I'll do Walk Back Tampa and Sidewalk Stompers. May is National Bike Month. Walk Back Tampa will be holding a bike celebration on May 11th at Coppertail Brewing in Tampa. And there'll be a lot of speakers and just general conversation about ways to improve bike safety around the Tampa area. Then Sidewalk Stompers will be celebrating National Bike to School Day. And we celebrate it kind of throughout the month of May because with school testing, it's really hard to do a single day event at the beginning of May. So we'll be doing bike giveaways. We've done some bike helmet giveaways and fittings. And if anybody is interested in helping us and participating with that, we have, I believe, 13 schools that are joining us for Bike to School Day this year. So we're looking to make that a big celebration throughout the month, wrapping up with the unveiling of our new bike safety corridor outside one of our partner elementary schools. The Sidewalk Stompers worked with the city of Tampa to redevelop a wide road into a much narrower road, more suited to all users outside the school, added always stops, murals, and restriped it so it's a lot safer and a slower street for kids arriving at that school. So we'll be doing that May 18th, and Mayor Jane Castor will be joining us for that unveiling ceremony.
Where's the ceremony going to be at, Emily?
Oh, did I leave that part out? The actual location? Roosevelt Elementary School.
Roosevelt, okay.
Hey, Bob.
Yes.
In no way do I think I can speak for Julie, but Julie is working hard, and I'm part of the stakeholder group for that high entry network, kind of like outreach, education outreach, geofencing. They're going to do some really interesting things on a number of corridors that it's through DOT. 15th Street, 50th, 56th. There's two pieces of 56, Nebraska, State Road 60, Sheldon, and Florida. And the last stakeholder meeting we had, it was really interesting, but there's research on kind of like the messages that resonate and the best, most productive way of sharing how to be, safer on these corridors, like whether you're a motorist or cyclist or pedestrian, and how to get those messages to people, whether it's through their phone or different ways. So that's moving forward. I'm excited. One example, I always use this example. I don't know if Julie does, but let's say you were, trying to reach drivers in a more rural area that was a high injury roadway. You might not, you might want to gear it towards the crashes that were happening with, young kids driving their pickup trucks. That message is going to be different than if you were in, like a suburban area in Carrollwood and you're trying to get the message to a mother of 4, so that kind of really specific kinds of messages will resonate differently. So they're doing some really cool research, and I'm sure she'll report back next time she's with us.
Gina, what's the name of that project again?
It's a DOT project. I actually have the slides open. It's called Safety Outreach on Select High Injury Networks in Hillsborough County, and it's through DOT and Julie and Cutter. Abigail has her hand raised.
Hi, yeah. So just circling back to Emily. Emily, can you include me with the details of the activities of Sidewalk Stompers for bike to school events and giveaways? And I'd like to participate.
Yes, of course. I'd love to have you there.
Thank you. And the other thing, Gina, so I walked with Julie and some others, the Sheldon corridor, for this situation analysis that where we're walking the corridor and we're trying to see what kind of users are there, what are their behaviors, so that we can identify messaging to encourage them to behave safely on the roadway network, this Sheldon. And what we saw was a lot of young people and a lot of mid-block crossing, right? So that already raises like, okay, why are they doing the mid-block crossing? But we had a debrief at the end of the walk, and we were talking about, okay, for Sheldon, it looks like tentatively, it looks like that it's young people, it's crossing mid-block, it's there's also transit there, so there's people riding on sidewalks, right? So yeah, so it's a good effort, and yeah, well, last I talked to Julie, she's working on getting all her comments together, and they were gonna come up with a strategy to curtail unwanted behaviors and promote safe behaviors.
Okay, great. Okay. Any other topics on pedestrians or bicycles or motorcycles? Okay. If not, we'll go to education. Who would like to start on that? Is Hillsborough County Public Schools here or the hospitals here? Like to talk about stuff? Mike, y'all have any outreach going? Mike Zinn?
Just the high school outreach, driver's education programs. It's still running. I don't know exactly how many they've got going coming up. I know summer's coming, so it's winding down for that. So we're doing the kids to work school program. That's pretty much it, Bob, for us right at the moment.
Okay. What's your plans for the fall of this year, the new school year?
Yeah, Bob, we're still going to be working with the same driver's education classes throughout the entire Bay Area. Okay. I'm still offering the scholarship program to pay the driver's ed certifications and the teachers that need it.
Okay.
And we're actually expanding our elementary school outreach programs.
elementary school outreach?
Yes, sir.
And what is that?
Well, we've learned in the last couple of years that most of the teenagers today, they don't want anything in printed materials. So we're working with the next generation below them, the elementary classes, the 5th and 6th graders, educating them on traffic and bike and ped safety.
Is that a formalized training program?
Yes, I'm running that through Cutter.
Okay. No, the reason I asked the question was we're pretty heavily involved with Safe Routes to School.
Mhm.
And we'd probably like to learn more about that if we could from you.
Sure.
Okay. We'd welcome a conversation about that program. Okay.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, we can do a side meeting on that down the road here during the summer.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Okay. Next item on the agenda is law enforcement. And is anybody here from the City of Tampa Police Department?
Corporal Mike White, I'm here.
Okay, Corporal, would you like to give us an update if you could on your activities?
Well, for the DUI unit, we're really pushing ahead with extra education events in the high schools, especially where seniors are going to be letting out, in senior parties and graduation parties and all that stuff. We're really trying to push forward with a lot of education as much as we can get out there.
Okay.
As far as our traffic fatalities, I had a list of traffic fatalities all saved up on my OneDrive, and of course, the City of Tampa is doing an update, so I can't get in there. So I don't have those numbers. I don't think Jim Reiser's on. He's usually here on
Mike,
these,
I
but
actually am. I came in late. I apologize, but I am here.
all right. I don't know if you would probably better know as far as the fatalities and whatnot than I would. I can't get into the OneDrive to pull up what I put in there. But I know you have a working knowledge of it in your head.
Here right now we're down 7 compared to 2022 numbers. Pedestrians are still a problem for us. I think we've had 3 of those this year, so you're talking 33%. That's an issue. So we're working the pedestrian safety program that runs through May, trying to get out there and do that. When we see that violation, we're not looking to give people a ticket, but we are looking to give them education, give them some safety materials, tell them the better options they have if they're doing a big block crossing that was brought up earlier, something along those lines. And then going a little bit in education, the DUI unit's been fantastic, reaching out to these schools, trying to get out there and get that DUI message out there. And we're going to expand on the traffic unit to do some education over the summer school period through Wharton High School and I guess there's students from all over the county go there. And the traffic units program will be the aggressive driving road rage. So we're trying to be as proactive as we can at the Tampa Police Department to get the word out to the younger drivers. So hopefully we make an impact. But that's really all I got. I mean, we're working all the grants. DUI's working their grants. I'm sure, Mike, if you got anything else, feel free to chime in, but that's all I've got right now.
Okay, before we get off there, specifically the audience at Wharton High School, who's the participants in that program this summer?
Excuse me, what was the question again, Bob? I'm sorry. I lost you.
Who is the participants in the Wharton High School program you're having this summer? Who's going to be the target audience for that?
The high school age students who are in the summer school. I believe now we're still working out the logistics, but it sounds like they have a over the summer driver's ed school program coming up. I think we've got some coming up it starts in May. I believe we have one program probably in July, and then we go into the new school year and we'll schedule additional times through the school year.
Okay, great.
But the target audience is, it's the high school age students who are becoming driving age or have reached driving age. And, we've had a problem with road rage incidents in the Tampa Bay area recently. It has been all over the news. I think there was a fatality as a result of one. So that's becoming more of an issue. And there's been some arrests made specifically by FHP in road rage cases. So I guess it's just a symptom of our society, but we need to get the word out there. People need to use patience and when they're out there on the roadways, and be safe. Main
Okay.
thing we're trying to get across.
Okay, great. Is anybody here from Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office? I thought I heard someone from the Sheriff's Office. They're not here.
This is Melissa. I'm just from the crossing guard unit. I don't know if there's any sworn on the call or not.
Okay, well, thank you. Hey, Mike, do you have the crash statistics you can give us, please, if you would?
Bob, I didn't do that anymore. As you all know, Signal 4 is not giving us any information that's current. It's like 60 days old. Lori's got current maps up here if you want to explain what we got, Lori. But I think from here on, everybody that doesn't have access to Signal 4, they should get access to it. If you have trouble getting access to it, I can help you get on there and get your own. But it's that statute thing. They're holding back all this information now.
Yeah, but well, we track from the safety office in Tallahassee at 60 days delay is okay. We just need to know the trend.
Sure.
Yeah,
And Lori's got the maps on the trend, but it's at least 60 days old. So what you're seeing on the screen.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Correct. So
I'm sorry, Lori, go ahead.
So in the June CTST meeting, we should have data through the end of March, approximately. But from January 1st to February 3rd, which was the last fatal maps we displayed at the CTST, there were 13 fatal crashes. And now there's 24 from January 1st to February 28th. So in an additional 3 weeks, there were 11 more fatal crashes, from 13 fatal crashes to 24 fatal crashes. That the 13 increase was 4 left turn fatal crashes, 3 off-road fatal crashes, 3 pedestrian, and 1 other. And for the pedestrian fatal crashes, there was one at Waters Avenue and Rustic Drive, and it occurred in dark lighted conditions. Rodine Road and Rising Oaks Trail occurred in dark, not lighted conditions. And Hillsborough Ave and Dodo Lane was in dark, not lighted conditions. So a lot of these pedestrian fatalities are occurring at night.
Okay, run off the road is still the #1 type crash. That's what I heard.
No, that was just, so there was 3 new run off the road crashes, but the number 1 is the pedestrian. There were 11 since January 1st for fatal crashes, which represents 45.8% of the fatal crashes.
Okay, can we go back to the agenda? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, this is Abigail. I'd like to share a little bit of statistics. So we're working on our reports, our safety report for 2022, which I would like to present to the committee when it's finalized. But we're talking about pedestrian, and I wanted to ask the officer on the phone, the Tampa officer, if you were talking about education to pedestrians. Is there also education to drivers to yield to pedestrians, or to remind them also of the legal obligations of when a pedestrian is on the road trying to cross?
Yes, ma'am, it's everybody. One of the big things we do with our enforcement side when it goes to the motorist would be related to speed enforcement, especially along these high injury networks where there's a lot of or a higher speed limit. The case in point would be Hillsborough Avenue. When it comes to speed and pedestrian crash statistics, we're more inclined to issue citations at that point. So yes, it's everybody. It's the bicyclist. If we see an error, we go ahead and we correct that error and make sure that they understand what they did wrong. The pedestrians, the same thing. We ask them, look, there's a crosswalk 300 feet away. We need to cross the crosswalk. And if it's a motorist that violates the right of way of pedestrian, it's the same thing. It's any roadway user we see that commits a violation. The whole thing is to provide on that spot education. And if it's an egregious violation through our department policy, we'll issue a citation. And it's not a multiple citation thing. We pick the most serious violation, and that's usually what we'll cite on. So yes, we're trying to get the word out to everybody. Everybody gets materials. It's multifaceted. Really, they're all violating the law at some point. Any roadway user you can pick, if we're out there long enough doing an operation, we're going to see a vehicle violate a pedestrian's right of way, a bicyclist violate the right of way of a vehicle, and the same thing with a pedestrian. So yes, the word is universal, and it's to everybody.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. So in our 2022 statistics, we found that 1 in 5 crashes in unincorporated Hillsborough County was a ped or bike fatal and severe. So 1 out of 5 fatal and severe injury crashes in Hillsborough County in 2022 was a ped and bike, and that over 50% of crashes with ped and bike occurred over 500 feet away from a marked crosswalk, right? So this is and if you go out and, like I shared, walking the Sheldon with the group, this may be, and we need more research on this where Cutter would come in, the epidemic of our region, right? One of them, as you said, aggressive driving, and also crossing outside of crosswalks. So when that's where the engineers come in and say, where do we need a crosswalk? So this could be a tattletale sign that we need more crosswalks, which is generally the industry's position, is we need more mid-block crosswalks at more frequent intervals that people can access to cross safely and legally. Yeah, so we got that. What else? Our number 1 crash type in Hillsborough County in 2022 was left turn crashes. So it goes back to the intersection, right? The ped and bikes are also having trouble navigating the intersections, with 1 out of every 3, 1/3 of pedestrian and bicycle crashes occur at the intersection in Hillsborough County, right? So that would mean that 2/3 are along the roadway segment, so mid-block between intersections. So again, that's pointing to we need more infrastructure mid-block for ped and bike to access to cross the street. And that's what I wanted to share, but I look forward to presenting this and sharing all the great data that we have. Thanks.
Thanks, Abigail.
This is Jim Reiser, TPD. I have a question on that info you just gave, and maybe it's something you can't provide at this time, but so usually when I look at an intersection crash, I provide an offset. And I used to be able to go into some of the databases I use. I'll say, okay, I say Fowler, Brisby Downs and 30th Street, right there by the FDOT office. I'm going to use a 100-foot offset to the intersection. Do you know if they're using an offset to determine the involvement of the intersection or the influence intersection, or are they only counting within the intersection itself? And I know that question would be kind of ambiguous, but I'm just kind of curious what methodology they're using for that to arrive at those figures. And I agree with what you presented, just based off memory and the pedestrian bicycle crashes that my traffic homicide unit handles. It sounds like that data is pretty much dead on. I was just curious if there was a methodology with the intersections that's used.
Yeah, so we do have JMT on the line who performed this analysis. Lori, can you speak to that? Or Melissa?
I wasn't involved in those efforts, but I could reach out to Sarah Beresheim and get more information on that for you.
Okay, I would say that from my conversations with about this analysis, that yes, we do. So in other analysis that I've been involved with, we go about 300 feet. We go 300 feet from the intersection and include that as part of the intersection. Because when you guys report it, what do you guys include? What does PD include as part of the intersection? 300 feet, or is it different?
Well, so there's I believe there's a checkbox on the crash report. It's influenced by the intersection. So let me give you an example of what we run across a lot when we do the education. We'll see a pedestrian that's, say, crossing 100 feet back from the intersection while cars are stopped at the red light. And we'll be like, you're supposed to use the crosswalk. That's going to offer you the best visibility. And one of the responses we'll get from the people we talk to is, yeah, but that means I got to worry about all four corners of the intersection, vehicles making a left turn across in front of me, vehicles making a right turn from the other direction. And they feel actually safer crossing further back from the red light, even if vehicles are stopped, because they only have to deal with those one set of lanes. And it's just an interesting dynamic we've seen talked about more. And, a lot of your pedestrians that are out there, they'll say, yeah, it's much easier to cross. And I said, well, what do you do when you get to the median and you got to cross? And he goes, I only got to deal with that one set of lanes. And so it's kind of interesting. And you know what I'm talking about if you walk, you're walking out and you got a vehicle that's turning left across those lanes and you got to keep looking over your shoulder. Not only that, but you got the vehicle turning right that's probably going to cross in front of you. So it's an interesting point they bring up because they actually use the roads every day and they deal with this. I was just wondering if that's taken into consideration. At 300 feet, you definitely are. And I think that's a proper methodology because that intersection is directly influencing that crash if it happens. So that's good. You answered my question. That's perfect.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Abigail. We'll move into engineering. The City of Temple Terrace, you have anything you'd like to share?
Hi, Bob. Can you
Hey,
hear me?
Brian. Yes, sir, Brian.
Hey, actually, there's nothing really new for Temple Terrace to share, but I did have a question, I think, for DOT and/or the county. One of the things that we'd like to start doing is pedestrian and bicycle counts more regularly. And I was wondering if you had any type of equipment other than hiring a consultant to do that type of stuff.
Gina Torres.
Yeah, I wanted to say something, Brian. We don't, but this is what we were looking at. We really want to do some counts on the high injury network, non-motorized, so bike and ped mostly. And it's so important to have that data because when you say something's really dangerous, is it because there's just it's a great place and there's so many people biking and walking. So this data is really important. So, we're using a consultant, but we also decided, why don't we tag along with the consultant and see what the process is for, putting up the cameras, getting the data later, that kind of thing, so that maybe we could buy our own and use those. We haven't done the contract yet. We've asked a couple of different consultants. It's kind of expensive. It was like $1,000 to $2,000 per camera almost. I mean, we can get some lower prices if we ask for, less of a report at the end or we do the analysis. But once we started looking at getting our own cameras, which are like potentially, I don't know what it was. It was they were expensive, but would be great if we could use them over again. But now we're worried as technology changes so much, it would mean one of us is like got a ladder up on a telephone pole. I mean, there's none of us are going to be able to do our own. Now you might be able to if as a an engineer or something, like getting trained to do it. But so the bad news for us is that I don't think we're going to be purchasing any. It could change that decision if we knew that our partners like you or some, Plant City were interested in using them and we knew that they were going to get more use. So maybe I'll bring that up before we make a final decision. But we don't have cameras ourselves and it is kind of pricey. We're going to do 20 locations on the high injury network, maybe 2 on some corridors if it's a longer stretch, but we'll have some for 56th Street because I think that's one of the locations. But I'll keep you posted on that. Sorry, I don't have better news.
No, I appreciate the information. Thank you.
Hey, Brian.
This is Emily Hinsdale. I was just going to mention that the city of Tampa worked with Walk Bike Tampa using a bike ped counter on Davis Islands, the bridge over from onto the islands. And so I don't know what city of Tampa still has in way of bike ped counters. I believe they also have done some of that with the Tampa Downtown Partnership. So those might be useful to talk to if you want to look into that more.
Yeah, ask Wade too from our agency, since you know him pretty well, Brian, because he was involved with Karen in the city on that. They use laser counters, so it's a little easier, I think. But you're not getting that's great. It'll be great data, it's probably cheaper. But what we're looking for is actually you know, getting the data to see was the cyclist and pedestrian walking against traffic or driving against you know, riding against traffic. Were they crossing? You know, we could get a little bit more information with the camera, but the lasers that Emily is referring to, and maybe there were also tubes across trails, because you kind of capture a person on a trail. You can do get some good data that way. Yeah, that might be. Thank you, Emily. I'll have to make sure that those two speak. Brian and Wade can talk or something.
Okay. This is Bob. We use electronic, when we do collect data visually, electronically, and then review it in the office. So if Temple Terrace needs a spot location, you can request it and we can work with you if it's just a spot location. We just completed one on Bullard Parkway at the public library up there, in which we did pedestrian counts using the visual data collection, something like that. Okay, the city of Tampa's not here. Temple is Plant City here. Oh, okay. As far as Hillsborough County, I'll ask Abigail to speak in a minute, but so as of this week, including today, we're retiming all the traffic signals on Sheldon Road from Hillsborough up to Citrus Park Drive. Then we're also, as a part of that retiming the signals, we are including in all the traffic signals pedestrian leading intervals throughout the whole corridor. This is a high injury network corridor. And we're doing that. Also, we've changed the speed limit. We dropped it 5 miles an hour from 45 to 40 at Monday this week. When we're continuing to look at speed limits on other roads throughout the county to do that. Abigail, is there anything you'd like to mention what you're working on?
Yeah, bravo to that, what you just shared. So yeah, we got plenty of stuff going on in engineering with Hillsborough County. So Hillsborough County is taking a proactive approach to safety. So in addition to addressing hot spots, crash spots, and improving those, we are identifying potential highly likely future hotspot crashes based on data driven. And so we are currently looking at unsignalized intersections where we have already looked at all the unsignalized intersections in Hillsborough County and ranked them. And now we're looking at designing, signing, and striping plans to go and improve these unsignalized intersections for roadway users. So it's a systemic approach where we deploy improvements at numerous locations, numerous unsignalized intersection locations based on the propensity, the high probability of it being problematic for drivers and roadway users to navigate. So that's coming up. We're working on those designs right now. We are also have a signalized intersection program coming up that we're going to launch. We develop the methodology. So what does that mean? That means we're going to take a look at all the signalized intersections in Hillsborough County, rank them based on risk and exposure and equity, and then get started with a systematic approach to improve those before they become problematic hotspot crash locations. The other that we're working on lane departure. So lane departure crashes where we are updating. We're also looking for systematic applications. So that means improvements that we can go out and proactively put at locations to prevent future lane departure crashes, which are, when they occur, they are often fatal and severe. So that's why we want to address those. We missed that we're doing Mort Elementary and Harvest Hope wayfinding project. Yes, and we are in design for that. So that is great. What does it include? It includes raised crosswalks, flashing beacons, and wayfinding signage from Mort Elementary to Harvest Hope Park. It's community driven. We are communicating with stakeholders of the school and the university area, and we want to engage students in identifying what is the theme that they would like to see for wayfinding signage. So it's improving safety, it's enforcing community identity, and it's providing wayfinding for the students to get to the after-school program at the park. And in Safe Routes to School, which Emily has been participating, FDOT has been participating on the project advisory committee, and Cutter has, and others, Hart as well. So it's a great committee of community stakeholders. We are currently working on project development for 5 schools: Riverview High School, Webb, Town and Country, Morgan Woods, and Woodbridge are the schools that we're doing project development. So we're identifying improvements for students to walk and bike to school. That includes bike lanes and flashing beacons and new mid-block crosswalks. So I did go on the field review, and for Riverview High School, and students are crossing mid-block because of the lack of crossing opportunities. And like the officer shared, they you could tell that it's just 300 feet offset from the intersection, but it's much more calmer place to cross, especially for vulnerable users that are younger and aren't as skilled as using the system as some of our older users. So that's going on there. Just really doing great things here for student safety, vulnerable user safety, equity, and to address our problematic areas like intersections in Hillsborough County.
Thank you. Okay. Hillsborough school transportation issues. Does anybody fear from the school? Okay. HISIP updates. Gina, you have anything you'd like to say on that?
I don't, but maybe Svara does.
Well,
okay,
I'd like to mention that the first round of monies, Safe Streets for All, were awarded. Obviously, Tampa did pretty well. Both of us, about $40 million. The second round is now open for people who wants to apply for those grants. And the Federal Highway Administration has encouraged us to reapply for the next round as well. So they're open for all the local governments that want to do. It's a direct pass through. It does not go through DOT. It goes directly Federal Highway Administration to local governments to implement safety projects. So those program is open right now. So to do that.
Hey, Bob, this is
Yes.
Melissa. Hey, Mashid sent me her update. She said she wasn't able to attend the meeting, but she sent me something to read for everybody. So if you're fine with that, I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
She said that she's working with Bill Reha on material requests and with the cities and counties on their new applications. She said currently we are waiting applications for the city of Tampa. She said the HSIP portal is being worked on and should be available for use shortly. Also, reminder that all local agencies intending to submit project applications for federal safety funding under the Highway Safety Improvement Program are required to at least join 4 CTST meetings per year and present the concept for each project at one of the CTST meetings prior to the application deadline. She also mentioned that she's always available to lend a hand in preparing the HSIP or Safe Routes to School applications. Please let her know if you are working on either of these applications and if you need any help. Or if you need to know if a project qualifies for the funding. She's always available.
Thank you.
That was her update.
Okay. Let's go to the next one, Vision Zero. I'm going to Gina again. Okay.
Sure. And also, I'm sure there's more things on the school work that's being done because Lisa was telling, well, this ties in with Vision Zero. Lisa Silva is working, and Emily, please fill in any gaps if you can help me with this, but Potter Elementary is having a mural painting day. I don't have the dates. I wasn't prepared. But also everything that Abigail has said and everything the city is working on really lines up very well with Vision Zero. We were out there painting a mural for the city this couple days ago. But one of the things that the TPO specifically is working on is looking at 2 of the city's high injury roadways that are county owned. So Waters Avenue and Sly, from Armenia to one's to Florida and one's to Nebraska. but they're going to be looking at those different tiers that the county uses for low, medium, and kind of high costs and a little more difficult implementation. So they'll identify some low cost and treatments and the ultimate treatment for those 2 corridors that are experience a lot of serious crashes. So that's a study that we're probably about 25% into. So there's a lot more to report on in the future.
Great, okay. Okay, now let's go through sharing calendars. Who would like to start on the calendar sharing, if you would? Okay. Hey, Mike, you got a calendar update?
Yeah, I was talking to, and I forgot to hit the unmute.
Okay.
Yeah, first thing on the calendar is it's National Bike Safety Month for the whole month. It's also National Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month and National Youth Traffic Safety Month. It's also Older Americans Month. National Bike to School Day is on May 3rd. Of course, the May 10th is our mega CTST meeting. The 15th is it's a NHTSA campaign. It's a click it or ticket campaign. Actually, it runs from the 15th through the June 4th. It's also National Police Week from the 14th through the 20th. They're doing an international road check on the 16th through the 18th. 19th is National Bike to Work Day. And on the 31st through the 4th of June will be National EMS Week. With some of those things mentioned, all those calendar updates, the Older Americans Month on May 8th and 9th, I'm doing a technical training for car fit for seniors. It's going to be out at the Town and Country Senior Center Library. I had sent out an e-blast on that to see if anybody wanted to register and get signed up for that for becoming a technician and possibly a coordinator. The car fit itself for the seniors is on the Tuesday, the 9th. We started, Bob, it's just another update. We started our second round of the Enhanced Law Enforcement Engagement Program. It'll start it's going to start in May. And we're hopefully going to run that through to the end of the year. Got some additional funding that's still being promised to guarantee that, but currently it's funded through October. But so law enforcement is going to be out there actively working traffic and safety.
Okay. It's good news. Okay. The hospitals have anything they would like to report coming up on their calendars?
Hello, this is Dawn from Tampa General.
Yes, ma'am, Don.
Good morning. Sorry, I missed the education portion. Yeah, for May is also a busy month for trauma. It is trauma survivors. We have a dedicated day. I don't have the date off the top of my head for Trauma Survivors Day, but it's also May is National Trauma Awareness Month. It's also Stop the Bleed Month, and then May 25th is National Stop the Bleed Day. So we have partnered again with Tampa Fire Rescue and TICO, and we'll be providing multiple courses free and open to the public for Stop the Bleed training on May 25th. The first one will be at 10 o'clock out at the Brandon Healthplex by Topgolf in the morning, or I'm sorry, yeah, 10 o'clock. And then we'll have one in the afternoon downtown Tampa at the TICO location. I think it's on Franklin Street. I think that was at 1:30. And then we'll have an evening session at the Tampa Fire Rescue in Ybor City, their EOC building. And I believe that one's at 6 or 6:30. I'm finalizing the flyer now, and I could send it your way if you guys would share it out or post it on your site. Again, all the classes are free, and we have a lot of people throughout the free organization helping to teach the classes. So looking forward to that. And then, of course, we mentioned in the last meeting, we will be providing the Stop the Bleed training also at the May 10th CTST mega spring meeting as well. So I'll see many of you guys there. Thank you.
Yeah, good, great, thank you. There's more health on the line.
Yes, sir. This is Karen. How are you?
Hey, Karen, you got anything upcoming? Okay.
We don't have anything as far as the calendar. We're just hoping to join in with all these activities and attend next week. And, certainly one of the thoughts I had with all the updates and everything, Bob, is that would it be possible to have a list of, I don't know, I was almost thinking that we try to post and link to social media, such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. We would love to link to all of these different events and to support everyone's initiatives throughout Tampa Bay, because I think a lot of times we all do things maybe in silo a little bit. And so we would love to have the opportunity for you all to share things that we do, as well as for us to share things that you all do. So maybe increasing a little bit of social media, or at least through this committee, could we have maybe a list or something to be able to promote for everyone.
Yeah, who's sharing your screen right? Is that Mike or Melissa?
It's me, Melissa. I was just gonna say that on the CTST homepage.
Okay.
There are some events down here, like what's coming up.
Okay. Oh, thank you. And then do we have through those, do we have like a list of everybody that's on the committee and we could then look or go to their site on, say, Instagram or something like that to start linking everybody together?
I don't believe we have that. No, not with social media.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, it might be helpful, because I think these messages are so important. I just really want to help get those messages out for all of us to work on that.
Hey, Mike, that sounds like a great idea. Could you let us know?
We could take a look at that avenue and see what we could possibly do with that. Being a government entity, it's a lot of red tape to get involved with social media, so I'd have to bubble that up a lot higher pay grades in mine to see where we can go with that.
But we can promote you, Mike. So if I know
Sure.
all the events or the flyers, maybe have one, Melissa, maybe we could have one area on the website that we could all go to that have the flyers, or maybe that is what you're saying. And then we could then just download that and link it or something like that.
Karen, what I usually do, we do have a website everybody here has access to. And when people send me things like MAD or even SAD or other organizations, I'll post them on that website.
Okay.
And Melissa's showing you the website here. It's called TampaBayTrafficSafety.com.
Okay.
But as you can see, there's a lot of different things here, different blogs. You go down to the blog area of it. It's just all kinds of things that are in this site.
Perfect. And then Emily, if you could share all of the information that you're doing this coming month and having that, and then we'll link to that, since we're school, we teach in high school and then elementary, for bike and ped and drive safety stuff. That'd be great.
Sounds great. Okay. Is there any other open announcements anyone would like to make, or topics they'd like to discuss in open forum?
Hey, it's Susan. I just want to get you all excited about the May 10th meeting. Got some fabulous speakers, great sponsors. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. I hope it's blocked out on your calendar. And if it's not, if you haven't registered, just take a few minutes and do it today. See you May 10th.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Bob, this is Karen Buckenheimer again. Sorry. Did you ever get an update about the golf cart as far as children and infant requirement seatbelt?
I think the city of Tampa police department said they were going to report back to us on that topic, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, they did, Bob. It was, I believe, last meeting or the meeting before that, but there was a long discussion about that. I think Jim Reiser's still on because he was part of the discussion. I don't want to throw him out there.
I'm sorry, I'm juggling multiple things. What was the question again?
Go ahead, Melissa.
Is there, did we clarify the law about whether children and infants need to be secured in like car seats in a golf cart? A low-speed vehicle, sorry, low-speed vehicle on a city street or, regular road. What is the requirements for an infant to be in an infant approved carrier thing?
Okay, so I'm trying to find out some clear language on that, and there may be something we need to address with the legislator, but a low-speed vehicle is considered a motor vehicle under Florida state statute. So yes, the children would have to be secured via belt, child restraint, booster seat. I don't think it would be any different. But the statute, in my eyes, is not real clear on that. But low-speed vehicles, it's operated on the road, it has a license tag. There's certain parameters, it has to have certain equipment on it. So yes, the children should have to be secured. I'll try and get some more clarification from my legal department on that. This is not a big problem that I see yet. The problem I have is that golf carts that aren't low-speed vehicles being operated by everybody of every age. It seems to be that when we start allowing these on roads, a lot of people, like right now they're sanctioned on Davis Island with a certain number of parameters under city ordinance. So you can operate them on Davis Island, but a lot of the other neighborhoods in South Tampa area, especially along the Bay Shore, well, if they can have them, we can have them too. And now everybody's buying these things, and they're an alternate form of transportation, but technically under statute, they're not legal. If we run across those, we'll tell them, look, this has to have turn signals and brake lights. It has to have a license plate on it. It can only be operated on roadways with speed limit under 35 miles an hour, things of that nature. And usually in that area, that's not too much of a problem as far as the speeds go, but those children should be secured. I guess the original complaint came to me was a mother was holding a child on her lap. And I think what it is the general public says, well, it's just a golf cart and it's harmless. And well, the fact of the matter is, if something did happen with the crash, could that mother or the father face any sanctions for if the child were to get injured? Absolutely. We would have to look at it on a case for case basis, but I haven't received a lot of complaints on that. And this is really the only committee it's been brought up in widespread, but I'll get with my legal department and make sure we're on the same page. But low speed vehicle is a vehicle in the state of Florida. Any safety requirements would have to be met similar to a motor vehicle.
Okay, and then I heard that I think someone from Davis Island posted on Nextdoor that the up in the legislatures they're changing the age 14 or trying to clarify that because so I think there's a bill right now for increasing that to 15 with their learner's permit or 16 with a driver's license because some of regular folks that are buying their golf carts think it's 14 with no license.
I would have to see the legislative update when that comes out. I'm unfamiliar with that action. The only one I've been tracking through is right now, as it relates to, is the speed cameras in school zones, because that's going to have an impact on our operations if we decide to implement that in the city of Tampa. But we should be getting a legislative summary by the 1st of July with all the statutory changes for the traffic laws, but I'm unfamiliar with that action. It wouldn't surprise me that is in the legislature right now. Golf carts, it's not only a Hillsborough County, city of Tampa, it's all over the state.
Oh yeah.
You got companies selling these things and everybody's like, oh, I'm going to get a golf cart. And, some of these communities where they're all brand new infrastructure and they have pedestrian, and bicycle tracks to the side of the road and, everything's new and they might work, but there's a lot of issues with the, in an older area of a city like Tampa where, they're being operated and people are we do a lot of education. Look, you're not supposed to operate that on the roadway, but you know, it's people are okay. I hear you. We issue warnings, but if I had to guess, they're right back at it the next day. So hopefully
Thank
we
you
get
so
some
much.
clarification from
Yeah,
the
thank you for the update, because I just saw golf carts, you know, they're starting to be at Costco and Lowe's, of course, and they're all really increasing. So just wanted to try to be proactive like this group is, try to let people know what the rules are prior to it.
Sounds great. Okay, any other topics people would like to discuss this morning? Hearing none, we would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. I'm here, motion. Okay, so we stand adjourned. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks all. Have a good one.
Yeah.
See everybody on May 10th.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Melissa. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Bob. Hey, Bob, are you gonna
Yes,
be able
ma'am.
to attend on May 10th?
Yes.
Okay,
But, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, did you want to do a presentation? Did you want to just speak? I'm trying to gather all the chairs.
Well, here's what I sent an email yesterday to Mike. I needed to know how many minutes you want us to talk. And when to design the presentation, start off with the number of minutes.
Yep.
And then a presentation is going to be totally focused on this committee right here, what we've been doing and what the subject matters we're into.
Yep.
And give a status report on our activities, that type thing. So that's going to be the thrust of the presentation. So it can be as long or short as you want to make it. So.
5 whole minutes, 5 minutes, Bob.
No, I can't talk in 5 minutes. There's no way.
Yeah, well, you know, we've yeah, so just so you guys both know, I mean, Susan responded to you, Bob, I know. We have about 30 minutes for all 5 CTST teams. You know,
So 5 that's 6 minutes.
Yeah,
I just picked up a minute from Melissa.
it's 6 minutes, but you know, one team might be a little shorter than the other, and the other team might be a couple minutes longer. So, but we have a 30-minute window to get it all, try to get it all done.
And do you want a PowerPoint presentation or just stand-up presentation?
I know Pinellas is going to do a little PowerPoint. I don't know. I haven't heard from the university one yet. Have you heard anything, Melissa, on that?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
I was gonna
I
send out
know,
my little message like, hey, if you're doing a PowerPoint, get it to me by.
I know Pasco was probably going to do a small little PowerPoint. I saw Tina yesterday, you know, at a meeting, so she made a comment that she's trying to put together a small little PowerPoint.
Okay, Melissa, you say you need it by when?
If I could have it, if I could have everything. Wait, what month are we in? Next Friday, if possible. What's that, Mike?
You just trying to figure out what month you're in.
I know, I'm like, why is my calendar looking like that? So if I could have it by next Friday, that would be great. At the latest, the 8th. But if I could get it on the 5th, that would be great, because we're going to go over there and test some things out a couple days before the meeting. So it'd be great just to have all the presentations ready, go loaded, and then I can just
slide,
test them out.
Roll through. Okay.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Bob, lunch is provided.
There will be food.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Where we meeting at? Where's the location, Melissa, going to be?
It's at the University Area CDC. It's over off of, I think it's 14th. Is that right, Mike?
I'm trying to think of the name of the street too. I don't live down there here.
Yeah,
So.
I know where it is. It's 22nd,
22nd. That's the other one across center. I was trying to remember.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a large facility. You know, we've also, you know, and Stop the Bleed program will be there. We also got the back end outside patio rented for a little while.
Yeah. Okay.
So that when we can do it.
Yeah, we use that for community meetings and type things out there.
Yeah.
Here you go, Bob. Right here. It's on North 22nd Street.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it starts at 9. So so we need, okay.
9 to 3.
Yeah, we needed to be there by 8:30 or something like that. Okie dokie, sounds good.
All right, looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you. All
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Thank you. See you later.
right,
Okay,
see y'all.
thank you. All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.